Okay, if you haven't seen the Australian action comedy Danger 5, you gotta check it out. It's this bizarre, campy 1960s era interpretation of World War II, where these 5 international spies are going after Hitler and his Nazi dinosaurs. And there's also this great recurring bit in season 1 where after a character dies, they spill the beans to a perfect cocktail. So today I'm gonna recreate 3 of these cocktails and see if they're any good. Alright, let's go.
Hello, my friend. 1 part dark rum, 1 scoop of vanilla ice cream, fill with creamy soda, finish with raisins. The perfect Carlos Sultana.
Okay, I warned you it was bizarre, right? So this is starting to sound like a boozy root beer float variant. So of course we're gonna need some ice cream to start. I got some French vanilla here, and we're just gonna drop 1 scoop into a glass. Next it calls for rum, and I'm gonna use one of my favorite dark rums here. Now it asks for 1 part rum, which doesn't really make sense on its own, so we're just gonna do a standard 2 ounce or a 60 ml pour. Then he says to fill with creamy soda, which I'm going to interpret as cream soda. Now, for those who don't know what cream soda is, think of it like a vanilla soda, and that's really going to double down on the vanilla here with the ice cream. So we're just going to pour some here into the glass, give that a little stir, and then finish with raisins. Now I'm just going to take a few here and just sort of drop them on top, and they're kind of going to sink to the bottom and probably get lost in the drink, but here we go. The perfect Carlos Sultana. Cheers. It's actually not bad. It's a sweet, boozy, vanilla, root beer float kind of thing. Alright, what else we got?
Get my ladies back. They have no doubt been taken to the nearest post by the river, you know. We used to take the girls on Bastille. You remember it, my friend. I cherish those days. Good. 2 parts grenadine, 1 part chartreuse, a pinch of salt, and a fresh mint. The perfect fruit, Madrid.
Alright, this one has me a bit more worried, so we're going to start by making some grenadine, which is basically a pomegranate syrup. So grab yourself some 100% pomegranate juice and some sugar, and we're aiming for a 2-to-1 ratio of sugar to juice. So I'm going to take 1 cup of sugar, add it to a saucepan with half a cup of pomegranate juice. Then let that simmer until the sugar has fully dissolved. And there's a little trick I like to use to make syrups last a bit longer, and that's adding a touch of vodka to it. Put this in the fridge and it should last several months. Alright, brace yourself because this drink is a little nuts. It calls for a 2-to-1 ratio of grenadine to chartreuse. So I'm going to interpret that as 3 ounces or 90 mils of grenadine, and then 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of green chartreuse, which is a sweet herbal liqueur. So just so we're clear, we're dealing with an insane amount of sugar here. And then it calls for a pinch of salt, which might seem crazy, but actually salt is a good thing to add to cocktails, just like you'd add it to a baking recipe. Unfortunately, it also heightens the sweetness of cocktails, which is really not what we need here. So we're going to try to dilute this as much as humanly possible by putting it in a shaker tin with ice and shaking for about 15 seconds. As with most shaken cocktails, we're then going to double strain it, and I've chosen to put it in a coupe glass here. And then finally it calls for a fresh mint. So we're just going to clap this to release some of the oils, and I'm just going to sort of tuck it on top here. Not sure exactly what to do with this thing, but here we go, the perfect Fruit Madrid. Sure enough, we get that strong mint on the nose, and it doesn't matter because this thing is insanely sweet. Grenadine overpowers everything. You get a little herbal notes, but no, sorry, pass. Let's do 1 more.
Don't go.
What can I say? I wish I had met you sooner. Oh, goodbye, Pierre. Oh, 2 part crème de cacao, 1 part vodka, pour over crushed ice, add milk. Finish with chocolate flakes. The perfect Swiss kiss. Oh.
Okay, this one seems a bit more palatable, and it calls for crushed ice, so we're going to start by mashing up some ice in a Lewis bag, and then we're just going to dump that into a rocks glass. So she calls for 2 parts creme de cacao, which is a chocolate liqueur. I'm going to do 2 ounces or 60 mils right into the glass. Follow that up with 1 part vodka, 1 ounce or 30 mils. And then we're gonna top with milk. Now a lot of you are probably thinking this looks a lot like a White Russian, but it's actually really similar to another classic cocktail called the Barbara, just with a lot more creme de cacao. Stir that up a bit, and then we're going to get some chocolate to do our chocolate shavings. Got my Theo chocolate right here, where my Seattle people at, and then we're just gonna shave that over using a microplane. Alright, the perfect Swiss kiss. Alright, this one's actually pretty tasty. I've got a bit of a sweet tooth, and this is definitely on the sweeter side. Really a nice way to wind down after taking out machine gun wielding Nazi Triceratops. Thanks for watching, guys. Did you know I post bite-sized versions of all my videos on my Instagram and Facebook? You can head over there and check it out. I'm just at Cocktail Chemistry. I'm also on Twitter and have a subreddit. Come hang out and join the community. Cheers.